Okay, so ever since the end of Kingdom Hearts 3, there has been something that's been constantly pondered by the community, is, well, not only the power of waking, but the price. The price to be paid by misusing the power of waking over and over again that Sora suffered from saving his friends' hearts from annihilation and eventually reversing Kairi's death at the hands of Xehanort, and in turn winding up in Shibuya along with Riku, Yozora, and the Master of Masters. But there is a bunch of theories flying around about the price. What's the price? How the price? Why the price? And I've been trying to crack the code for the longest, and then after watching the latest Kingdom Hearts 3 ReMind trailer, it hit me like a brick that literally connected all of the dots in my head on what the price is and how it connects to everything to the fallout of Kingdom Hearts 3 and beyond. Hey everyone, it's HMK, and as always, strap on in for another wild Kingdom Hearts 3 theory. It's a big one and one I've been excited for a very long time. I'm gonna take you for a ride. Okay, for quick context, the power of waking is a huge deal in Kingdom Hearts 3. Sora uses it to return Ventus's heart to him, among other things. But when things get nasty at the Keyblade Graveyard, the Guardians of Light were initially defeated. He decided to put it into overdrive and restore their hearts by using the same power of waking. This in turn will cause the scenario to be reset and play out differently, thanks to Naminé calling out to the lingering will for the save. But before all of this goes down, young Xehanort appears and warns Sora that he's using the power of waking the wrong way, and in doing so too many times will result in him paying a huge price. After Sora defeats him, he leaves back to his own time with a cryptic message doubling down on this warning. Fast forward a little bit and Kairi gets killed by Master Xehanort. Xion tells Sora that her heart is still around. Remember this part because it's super important. After the battle, Sora decides to use the power of waking one last time in order to restore Kairi. This use was the straw that broke the camel's back, and Sora pays the price by fading away as the sun sets and eventually winds up in Shibuya. Okay, now how do we make sense of all of this? Check it out. In the Kingdom Hearts 3 ReMind DLC TGS 2019 trailer, we get a couple of scenes with some cryptic messages that at first seems too wonky to understand now, but when we connect them to the overall story, it makes perfect sense. The first is Chirithy talking to who we believe is Sora, saying the lines of, "The heart you have now already existed during that time. It had already gone back into the past. Nothing can change that fact." At first, this seems like something to deal with far reaches of time travel, but in actuality, this is a post-game conversation between Sora and Chirithy talking about how Sora's heart existed during the initial defeat at the Keyblade Graveyard. It plays the scene and everything. This is that time in the past that Chirithy speaks of, and although they reset the outcome, the fact that Sora's heart existed in that point in time already cannot be changed. That is point number one. Got it memorized? The next point coming up is the conversation that Sora and Chirithy has in the final world. At first, I thought this would be an additional scene to be played out when Sora and Chirithy first meet in the base game, but now with the context of everything falling into place, this is actually part of the post-game conversation between the two. Sora asks Chirithy, "Kairi's heart hasn't been lost yet. She's still with us, right? Remember how I said to remember Xion's words earlier? This is why." This is Sora revisiting the final world and Chirithy after the end of Kingdom Hearts 3, using the power of waking in order to restore Kairi, and the reason why he's asking Chirithy this because he knows, thanks to Xion, that Kairi's heart is still around. However, Chirithy replies, "Maybe, but this time, the situation is a lot worse," which plays right into the fact that this is happening after the game, as Chirithy is saying that the predicament that Kairi is in is worse than the first time everyone got bodied. And I think the reason why this is worse is because Kairi originally was the tether that kept Sora together the first time, and now with her in pieces, Sora's next usage of the power of waking could push him to the brink. That is point number 2. Are you keeping up? The last point that keeps it all together is the conversation between the Master of Masters and young Xehanort. The Master of Masters tells him that you have the power to make a change. Isn't it interesting that he would use those words about power and change, like how the power of waking has the power to change outcomes, like the power to change the future being dictated by a false light? I'm going off the rails here, but it could be possible that the Master of Masters could have shown and taught the power of waking to young Xehanort, but young Xehanort, being a genius, figured out the risks and fallout from using such a power irresponsibly, or that this was a test by the Master of Masters to see if he would use it or not, and young Xehanort said no to the power of waking, opting to do it his way, by the way of Kingdom Hearts, and due to choosing right, the Master of Masters gave him full disclosure on the risks and detriments of the power of waking, and that is why young Xehanort knew all about it and its risks in Kingdom Hearts 3 and warned Sora about it, because he knew the price. And what does this all have to do with the price? What is the price? Elimination. Elimination to all of those who would abuse the power of waking will be taken out of their reality and placed in where they can't plague the flow of time, a jail if you will, and that jail is Shibuya. Having trouble following? The reason why the price exists is to keep people from messing up the timeline in Kingdom Hearts. As young Xehanort already said in Dream Drop Distance that there are rules when moving through time. One of them is that you cannot rewrite events that are destined to happen. The power of waking allows you to break that rule, and if you do, you get sent to Shibuya so that you cannot threaten the flow of time any further. And Nomura even doubles down on this. In Kingdom Hearts 3 Ultimania, he states when asked about the defeat reset at the Keyblade Graveyard, he is quoted, "The power of awakening, or the power of waking, is essentially the power to put sleeping hearts back the way they were. But the impact of forcing his friends' fading hearts back the way they were rewrote reality and created a singularity. The rewrite caused the chronology in which they were destroyed to have never happened." This is what I'm talking about. This is a big no-no in Kingdom Hearts, and that is why Chirithy tells Sora although he rewrote the past, nothing can change the fact that he was there already. It was a warning. Furthering on the point that the power of waking is not supposed to be used to rewrite time, Nomura is quoted once again from Kingdom Hearts 3 Ultimania with young Xehanort's warning, saying that young Xehanort's full statement before being cut off was, "Your time in this world is over." It's hinted at the ending. Before that scene, he warned Sora that there's a high price to pay for wielding such power foolishly. The power of awakening, or the power of waking, is not the power to bring people back to life, but Sora was using it to do just that to his friends. As a result, time was rewound, and young Xehanort predicted that Sora would pay the price by disappearing. The fact that Nomura has to make sure to put in that as a result, time was rewound, once again letting us know that rewriting history in Kingdom Hearts is a huge no-no. And that is why the Master of Masters did not give a book of prophecies to Luxu, because he knew about the price, and he told the price to young Xehanort, who in turn warned Sora about it, which all comes together with the conclusion that the price is not essentially tied to reviving people, but in rewriting history, and the price to be paid is being taken out from your reality, the reality of Kingdom Hearts, and to be placed in Shibuya, the Shibuya jail, so that you cannot threaten the flow of time. Nomura even hints to that by saying in Kingdom Hearts 3 Ultimania that this Shibuya is a different reality compared to the real one, and that the Master of Masters, with his apparent focus on time, the future, and his distaste for temporal paradoxes, may be the warden of this realm, punishing those that would mess with time and would mess with his design and would mess with his book of prophecies. This is why young Xehanort told young Ericus that it's not fair, because he knew he had him, because he knew that you're not allowed to mess with time. And while I'm serious about everything I said beforehand with this theory, there's a bit of a joke attached to it. Remember that card that Luxord gave Sora before he was defeated, and that Nomura said this could be a key to Sora's revival? That is literally Sora's get out of jail free card. But you know what? It is not a joke, because that is why Luxord is so important, because his element is time, and that is how he'll be able to save Sora from his crimes against time, because his element will allow Sora to return, and that is why Luxord was able to stay off of Lushu's radar for all of these years, because of his element that we all slept on ever since Kingdom Hearts 2. I literally blew my own mind writing this theory. Leave a comment on what you thought to get the conversation going. Be sure to share up the theory for the Kingdom Hearts 3 ReMind hype, and subscribe for more wild Kingdom Hearts content. Find out how to support the channel for as little as $1 a month on Patreon. So guys, until the next video, this has been HMK, and I will check you guys later.
So you haven't subscribed to HMK yet? Don't piss Xemnas off.